People are always shocked when I say this. I created 31 videos in an hour. I just started praying, what do I do? And I started hearing the word TikTok. And I was like, you mean the baby shark challenge? And so I downloaded the app and I was just like, I don't know what's going on here, but let me just start trying to create videos. And they were bombing, but I kept saying to myself, let me take it seriously. And I just started creating videos, acting like I was on TikTok, not on Facebook. And one of my videos went viral. I know video. I built my whole business on video. Why don't I focus on teaching video? Because I enjoyed it. It's effortless. It's easy for me. And the moment I said yes, everything just went kaboom.
Yes. Okay, Keenya, I'm so happy to have you here today. I know this is going to be a good conversation, but I want the people to know more about you. So can you tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got started in this space? Do you refer to yourself as a video coach, or what do you refer yourself
a video strategist, or either one?
Oh, she is strategist, honey. Okay, so today we're talking to Keenya Kelly, and she is a video strategist. Tell us how did you get started in this whole video world?
Yeah. So what happened for me was, back when I first got in business, I wasn't doing a video marketing. I actually had a natural hair care show. But I found myself being like I was making a little bit of money from it, but I started to see people using video like live stream, because that back then Periscope had come out. Yeah. And it was this new thing that popped up and I saw people using it and it didn't make sense, but I was like, something is happening here. So I'm just gonna hit the live button and just start talking about random things. And the more that I saw people making $1,000, $10,000, $100,000, I was like, there is something I am missing out on. I am not afraid of the camera. Let me dive into see what they're doing.
I love that. How did I not know that you came from the Periscope world as well? I'm surprised our paths didn't cross like earlier, because girl, that little blue button was everything. I feel for me, I had my people that would come on at a certain time and I would be like, or I would be at work and I'm like, damn, this person is live and I can't watch the live right now. So that is so crazy to hear that you came from Periscope as well. Oh my gosh. I love that. Okay. So do you feel like that gave you a good leg in getting started on video? Like, you thinking about the amount of money others were making or the opportunities other people were getting. What do you think was your main driver at that point? Like, what made that what made you feel like I wanted a piece of that pie kind of thing?
For sure. So basically, when I was in college, I got involved in network marketing, and that completely changed my mindset around the possibilities, because you think about go to school, go to college, and I was in college. But when I met somebody who was making $150,000 a month, I had never heard of that before. And I was like, I can touch this dude. And then that guy's white, but that guy's black. And I was like, something is happening here. So my mind was already expanded beyond the corporate job that I had in sales. So then when I saw Periscope, I saw people like Pamela Booker, I think, Coils by Nature. I saw her on Periscope selling her hair products. And then Nicole Walters, I knew her personally, and I saw her starting to build whatever she was building. And I was like, something is going on. I don't need to wait until they make it to realize that there's potential here. And so I was just like, I'm just going to do it messy, jump off the buildings and grow wings on the way down and figure out what is going on. So I ended up actually texting Nicole and saying, give me a link. I'll buy an hour of your time. And I bought an hour of her time, was like, what are you doing? And that's how I started.
I love that. I love that. So first of all, I kind of want to ask as well, just for gauge of the conversation. To me, okay, so Keenya and I are always kikiing via text. And so for me, I'm such an introvert, and Keenya is what I feel like the exact opposite of me. Like, I'm an introvert. I'm overthinking. I am like, oh my gosh. And I had to learn how to push through those things. For you, do you feel like you being an extrovert contributed to you being able to easily jump on camera? Or have you always been that way? Outgoing? Because I feel like that's just your personality, which I love, by the way, and which I need. So I thrive when I'm around her, because then she pulls me out of my shell.
Yeah, so no, I would not say that because, like, I always tell people that you introvert and extrovert, like, you all everybody deals with fear. So it's kind of like it doesn't matter what your personality style is, you still deal with the fear of what if I faint? What if I spit? What if I pass out? What if I do this on camera? What if all these things happen? And I had all of those what ifs. I had a really big what if because I was going through divorce because my ex-husband was
Mm.
being unfaithful and I was like, if I go live, who is going to show up? Him, them, what's going to, it was all these things. And I also was like, I don't really know what I'm doing. So I had the fear of not turning it on and turning it off, my phone falling,
Mm.
like just, I had all the fears of everybody else. I just didn't have the fear of seeing me on camera, but that was because I had spent years reading hundreds of books because of network marketing. I was forced on stage. Like there's a picture behind me and I'm in front of like 12,000 people on stage. But the reason why I can get on video today is because backstage I was bawling my eyes out before I ever had the courage to go on stage.
Wow, I love that. I can see so many. First of all, I definitely got my start in like learning about success and mindset
Mhm.
and selling from being in an MLM as well. I was in a health and
Ooh.
fitness one. Yes. So that definitely allowed me to be around millionaires, allowed me to start thinking
Mhm.
differently, like removing my thought of an income ceiling. So I love that you're sharing all this because it's definitely
Mhm.
resonating with my journey as well. But here's what I love the most. I love that you shared introvert, extrovert. We all deal with the same thing,
Yep.
right? Like, first of all, I have to laugh because I always think I'm going to pass out or faint when I'm teaching a workshop or something. But I heard from a reporter or a journalist who was on TV for like years. He said
Mhm.
that it's anxiety that has you
Mm.
thinking that way, that you're gonna die.
Yeah,
Well, that's what I think. Like, what if I die
I
right now?
agree.
Like, what? So it just shows you that no matter who you are, we all have things that we're thinking about and
Mhm.
things that, are hurdles for us along the way. So,
Yep.
Kenya, speaking about that, so you got onto Periscope, you weren't afraid because you were speaking before. So, you were taking your expertise or your experience and knowledge from the network marketing world, you brought that onto camera, onto video. What got you to the place of from sharing about natural hair, which your hair is lovely, darling,
Thanks.
um, over to being a video strategist? Like, when was the moment that you realized, oh, I do want to help other people with their strategy for video?
Yeah, so the first moment was when I was hosting these natural hair events. Like, I wasn't a hair care person, but I just had a desire to do something. All these brands that didn't know me whatsoever would all give me money. They just trusted me, but they all started to message me and say, "Who is doing your marketing materials?" And I was like, "Me." And they were just impressed by my ability to do what I was doing and market because of my job. So then
Mhm.
when I started realizing this natural hair business is not going to take me where I wanted to take me, I don't know what I'm actually doing, but let me just get on video and just talk about stuff. And so I just talked about
Yeah.
all these different topics, just talking, wasn't even building a brand. And people started to ask me very specific questions about building a personal brand because I was still in network marketing, recruiting and selling as Keenya Kelly. And they wanted to know about personal branding. So that was when I think I paid Nicole for an hour of her time. And she was like, you should focus on your brand. And then I started working with a coach for $10,000. That person
Mhm.
was the one that said, "Hey, you should be going live on a regular basis, teaching people X, Y, and Z." And they started teaching me video marketing, all these different things or whatever. And I
Mm.
was just like, what the world was going on? But when I made that first sale, because I was on live stream, I said, if I can sell one, I can sell 10. And that was the moment where I was like, I've got something that I've learned my whole life in corporate, bring it to the marketplace, and I can make money from it.
I love that. I love like just your tenacity and you knowing that there was more and figuring out
Mhm.
every which way to keep climbing and keep growing. And ugh, it's so inspirational. So let me tell you, I want to know. So now you are, I would say, one of the people out there that's completely killing it when it comes to short form content.
Thank you.
What, why short form content? You know,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah. So it's like, I mean, I'm religious. So like when the pandemic started, I was freaking out like everybody else. And I was just like, well, no, I got God. Let me ask him what's going on.
mm,
And when I was praying, I'm so used to praying for creative strategies for my business because I'm smart, but I'm like, if he created the whole world, pretty sure he's smarter than I am. So I just started praying, what do I do? And I started hearing the word TikTok. And I was like, you mean the baby shark challenge? Because all I knew was this challenge from like 2018, and
yeah.
I just kept hearing it and hearing it. And so I downloaded the app, and nobody was talking about it at the time. And I was just like, I don't know what's going on here, but let me just start trying to create videos. And they were bombing. Like I didn't know how to use the features. I didn't know
Mm,
what the platform wanted, but I kept saying to myself, if something is happening where God is really passionately talking to me about this, let me take it seriously. And I just started creating videos, and I started maneuvering them differently, like acting like I was on TikTok, not on Facebook. And my one of my videos went viral, and it clicked. Something is about to happen on this platform. So then
mhm.
we just doubled down and we kept focusing on it. And then we just kept exploding. And so, of course, a year later, Instagram Reels came out. And at the time, I was a personal brand strategist and we had a design agency, and I was over it. Cause, like, when you work with clients,
Yeah.
sometimes they're not giving
Ooh,
you what you need and the timeline and all that. And I was like, but I know video. I built my whole business on
yeah.
video. Why don't I focus on teaching video? Because I enjoyed it. It's effortless. It's easy for me. And the moment I said yes, everything just went kaboom.
Yes. Ooh, I
Mhm,
feel like that's also just claiming, like really 100% claiming the next move that God is giving to you. I think some people
mhm,
stay so long in, like, I could call it purgatory, where you're just in, or in limbo, just like thinking like, should I double down? Should I make this pivot? So kudos to you for listening to
mhm.
God.
Thank
Like,
you.
I feel like all people who talk about video have some moment where God told them, listen, like Tabitha Brown, have you ever heard her
Oh,
testimony of,
absolutely.
yes. And
Mhm,
I'll tell you why I think that is. Video is so high leverage, right?
mhm,
It's one of the high, like, you really got to go with God, honestly. Like, because we know video is, like, first of all, we know business is a self-awareness journey. To be
mhm,
able to put yourself out there on camera, it takes another level of, I got this, God, we gonna
mhm.
do this. I know
Yeah,
myself, I know my values, I know my morals, I'm gonna keep those, because it gets wild out there.
yeah.
What I really love about what you're sharing is that you allowed for yourself first to realize, I'm good at XYZ. And
Mhm,
then you asked others, you invested, and
mhm,
you also took feedback that you were getting, like, you know what, you're really great at this.
mhm.
And, take that and run with it. And every time you took it and run with it, you got to a whole new level,
Yeah.
right? That's what
Mhm,
I'm hearing. And I know that there are a lot of people out there that are just stuck, or
mhm,
maybe they're not asking the right people, or maybe they haven't invested yet, or whatever it is. But
mhm,
if you can take something from Kenya's story, I think there's opportunity for all of us to be able to listen, assess within ourselves, talk to God, and also like
mhm,
tap into resources, whether it's a coach or a course or whatever it is out there. There are people that are accomplishing what you desire to accomplish. Tap
mhm,
in, tap in.
mhm.
So Kenya,
I
yeah, like, whew, we know it gets crazy out there.
agree.
What made you want to become an educator specifically? So you are a strategist, but you also teach. Like, what was the point to where you decided, all right, like you said before, I'm working with an agency, but also, like, what made you want to teach specifically?
Mhm. I think it was, well, when I first started, what I realized was that nobody knew me and nobody knew what I knew. Because I spent my whole life in corporate America, which is not bad, but I spent all my life doing that. I wasn't Oprah. I couldn't just go, I'm Oprah, let me start this thing. I knew that I had to present myself as some level of an expert. And of course, as I was being coached by other people, they just kept showing me the value in showing up in a way that made people know that I existed. Like, it reminds me of, like, you look at someone like Kim Kardashian. Nobody really knew who she was, so she started filming herself, going to different
Mhm.
places and putting her content online. And it's the same thing that I was watching, that Tabitha Brown did, and we watched Nicole Walters do. And I
Mhm.
just kept saying to myself, one, this is the fastest way for me to let people know who I am and what I know, and build some type of online business. But also, I know that I am a really good teacher. I've heard that my whole life. Like, when I was
Yes.
in network marketing, I would do the trainings in the city for the company, and eventually I ended up being flown to the company headquarters, named the top 3 trainer. All this stuff happened, and it wasn't because I was the smartest. It was because the way that I think is how I teach. So I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't talk at high level language. I talk at low level language because that's what I understand. And I started to realize that the more that I taught people at the level where they were, the more my audience grew, the more that they had success. And then as a result, our company would have success. So it just became like a natural, easy thing for me to do. And because I knew that people don't follow you just because you're awesome, they follow you because you're teaching them something, you're leading them something, and they want to go wherever you're going.
Okay, so I got so many things from what you said, but I'll tell you this. I usually ask people like, what's different about you
Mhm,
specifically, as a coach or a consultant or a strategist out there in your
mhm.
specific industry. And I've gotten so much from what from what you've been telling us that is so different and special and unique about you. But what do you think is the most unique thing about you as, a video strategist, especially because we're in the same space, in the same world
Yeah.
out there? Like, what's different about Kenya?
I would say a couple things. One, I basically come from nothing, and I know we all have the rags to riches story, but I come from nothing in the sense that I said, I don't know what's going on out here. It doesn't matter how much support I've got. I've got resources online and in books. And if I'm going to, quote unquote, make it, I am going to do everything in my power to do it. The second thing is, I am like, my BFF on the planet is God, Jesus, and Holy Spirit, right? It's like, if you talk to me, you will find out real quick that everything that I get comes directly from God. So when people, like, it's so funny when my clients book me, especially one on one, they all end up crying by the end of the session. And they came for one thing, but I'm able to see them, like, not just the person that they're building, but their actual person, and help them really see if they're struggling with something and help bring them out of it. So people get this like ministerial type of thing, but not in the weird churchy type of way. But they get the strategy, like they feel like, oh my God, I just got my whole life when I encountered Kenya, because she saw me, she called me up, she called me out, and she challenged me. But I don't just do that to people, I do that to myself,
Yeah.
because I deal with my own lack of support, and I deal with my own stuff. And every day I have to go, wait a minute, who am I? Whose am I? God, give me strength, and give me ideas or what have you. But also as a strategist, I have had to learn. It's like I didn't have a video teacher. I've had somebody teach me email marketing. They've taught me, like, sales, but I had to
Mm-hmm.
learn what works on video. How do I show up on video? How do people connect on video? How do they disconnect? What causes a
Mm-hmm.
person to stop and watch my video? So everything that I teach people, most of it has been a school of hard knocks of me
Yeah.
investing money, or trying this or trying that. And so you get that whole package when you encounter Kenya.
I love that. And I love how much you do speak about God front facing so
Mhm.
that if somebody gets on the back end, they're not like completely like, whoa, where did the minister come from?
Right. Exactly. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
They're clear on that because you do be ministering online as well, which I
Oh,
love.
yeah. That
Uh,
mhm.
yeah, so I love that I love that God is a pillar in your content. Well, first of all, your
Mhm.
life, but also in your front facing content. So,
Mhm.
Kenya, let's jump back into short form for a little bit. What do you feel like is one of the biggest misconceptions about short form content? Because I'm a long form content girly.
Yes, you are.
So so sell me on short form. Like, what's one of the biggest misconceptions, and what do you feel? Why do you feel like it's a misconception?
I think it's that you can't make money with short videos.
Hmm.
And that is like far from the truth. And here's the thing. So I value long and short content. But because the average attention span of a person is 8 seconds long,
Mhm.
we can have the greatest long form video in the world, but we still got to get past the person, their attention. And
Mhm.
so when you create a what I call a bite-sized piece of content and a person consumes that and they find value in that, there's a high chance that that person will go and watch another video of yours and then another, or that one video makes them go, that was so good. Who is this? Let me click on them. Oh, they have a long video on this topic. Boom. Or they have, I can click and I can buy or I can opt in. There's a lot faster process of conversion, whether it is converting as a follower or is a lead to your business or sales. The conversion I feel like is a lot shorter with a short video. And as a business owner, we can do so many short videos in a short period of time. Like, people are always shocked when I say this, but I did a live stream one day where I streamed myself on Zoom for an
Mhm.
hour. And I said, y'all watch how many videos I create in an hour. I created 31 videos in an hour, short videos.
Yes.
And they were like, how did you do that? I'm like, I just had all the topics written out and I just shot. And they were like, there's no way I could have done a long form video that way. And I'm like, I get it. But because I've done all those shorts, now that's weeks of content.
Mhm.
And then if I have a long video, then I can chop it up. But I just think that because short video is still such a new thing, and what we learned about it initially was dancing and pointing, that people still have the lack of understanding of, no, this strategy will actually fuel everything else that you're doing.
I love that. That is so powerful. All right. I might start creating more short form content.
Yeah. You got it.
Okay. So I want to ask as well, like, if someone is thinking about using short form content, what platform do you think is best for short form content right
Mhm.
now?
I would it depends. So if someone's trying to grow their YouTube channel, YouTube Shorts is gonna blow that channel up all day, every day. Friend of mine reposted a TikTok video to Shorts, and he gained, what was it, 280,000 subscribers to his YouTube channel in a week. So it just depends on that. The platform that I would say is making me the most money with short content is definitely Instagram. I think that people are already used to making purchases when you're on the Instagram platform because it's been there so long. Second one that's making me the most money is probably Facebook. And that's because I'm reposting the same content and I'm using ManyChat with DM automations to get that
Mhm.
conversion going. But the one that has caused me to grow more than anything, my reach, my community, my revenue, has been TikTok. And TikTok has fueled everything else that I'm doing. So people didn't know that I existed until I kept existing on TikTok. And as they're coming in contact with me, they're like, whoa, who is this? And then it's leading them to all different types of other places. So if a person is just getting started and they're like, I want to get started on video, I want to grow a community fast, TikTok is the place to get started because you're going to
Mhm.
grow really fast there, but the revenue will come first from Instagram.
Okay, I love that. I love the transparency and all that you shared. And what I love about us video coaches, we do test different platforms. So we can definitely let you know, like, heads up, this is what's
Mhm.
happening on each platform.
Yep.
So that guy, I have so many questions swirling around right now. So the first one that I want to ask is, I'm going to address a rumor, or it's not a rumor, it's
Mhm.
currently they're talking about it happening. What about
Mhm.
if TikTok gets banned from the US? What are your thoughts on that? How do you feel like it would affect all that's happening? Like, what are
Mhm.
your thoughts?
I think that if TikTok gets banned, all the creators are gonna run to Instagram. I think a lot of creators are gonna run to YouTube
I
Shorts
think
first
so. Yeah.
because that's who's paying for sure. I think that's number one. And then I think they will also repurpose their content onto Instagram because they just came back out with their monetization, and then Facebook. I think that's going to blow those platforms up like crazy. Now, when I think about the US government banning TikTok, like, obviously I don't work for the government, but it's just not typically what we do as a government. Like, it sounds really bad when I say this, is that we're more greedy than we are power hungry,
You ain't
and so
lying.
you know. So I think about, granted they're getting ready to vote today or tomorrow or whatever. I think that it's more of a money situation than anything, which is why they're trying to say sell the ByteDance or TikTok to a US company or what have you. So I don't think that they will do it. I hope that they don't do it, but if they did, everybody's just going to double down everywhere else. But I think that the US will have a really big problem on their hands, because you're talking about 3 million businesses that will be
Mhm.
impacted. We're already dealing with a recession and inflation. And if you do that to that many Americans during an election season, you think you got a problem on your hands right now with
Ooh.
Biden, Trump, and all the things you're going to have a serious, I'm not saying we're going to do it January 6th. That's insane. But there's going to be quite the problem that we've never
Yeah.
seen before.
I love that. I love that. Now, what I would definitely take away from that is, of course, there's no surety. Like, we don't know what the government is doing.
Right.
But what I love is that transference of skill or,
Mhm.
of platform. Like, I love that you said it's going to amplify the other platforms if it
Mhm.
does happen.
Yep.
Um, okay. So, Kenya, I want to get started on TikTok, right?
Mhm.
Or continue my little TikTok run because I'm on there sometimes, not
Yeah.
as much as I would love to, but I am. What, as a business owner, what are the four types of content, or even if it's not four, what types
Mhm.
of content should every business owner be posting on TikTok? Or is it just one type? Like, I honestly don't know. Like, I'm looking to you,
Yeah.
like, what do you think? Like, coach me a little bit, girl.
Yeah, for sure. If somebody is a coach or consultant, you definitely have to be doing micro learning content. Like, this is a long form video that we're doing in podcasts. And so, but on TikTok, you really want to be doing like one or two tips in each video of things that people can apply to right now, like presenting yourself as an expert. So, micro learning is good. Also, whether you are a coach or a corporate brand, behind the scenes content it's giving people this real life experience that we normally would not get ever. Like, one company that's dominating on TikTok is Delta Airlines. And everybody's so shocked at that is Delta Airlines, because when we think about Delta, we're like, it's the greatest airline. They're like, why would they be on TikTok? But they see it. And so they're constantly doing these, like, they're using trends, which is another form of content, to talk about Delta. They're not saying book a flight on Delta, but they're basically saying Delta is cool. And Delta, we're with the times and what have you. So it works extremely well. And then also, what else is working on there? Like testimonials, that works all the time anyway, but finding really creative ways to share a testimonial. So me, one of my most popular content that works on all the platforms is when I take one of my clients, their screenshot, you can see their follower numbers or whatever, and I'm doing what's called a green screen. So here I am, instead of me saying my client did this, I'm showing you my client. Now, to take it a step further, some people are taking videos and they're splicing them together about their clients, and they're in green screen and they're pointing to the video showcasing what their client was like before and then after them. And those types of things are causing like crazy conversions, because you can actually see,
The
here's the client
results.
before them, yeah, and here's the person after. So there's a lot of different things you can do, whether it's TikTok or anywhere else, but it's really about knowing who is my audience, what is my audience searching for, and creating content in a way that connects to them. So sometimes my relatable content, when I talk about sending an email with the wrong link and me passing out and falling out on the floor,
Yeah.
it connects with my coaches because they have all done it before. Or we've all batch created content and then we're like, want to go into hiding for 24 hours. And sometimes I create content like that that doesn't sell anything, but it still connects with the people that I'm trying to connect to, on top of me trying to sell a product or service.
I love that. Oh, so many gems in there, Kia. I gotta ask you about Risa Tisa, girl. What do you think?
Girl, first of all, I am like, wow. It makes me so sad that all of that happened to her.
First
You
of all,
know,
yes, yeah, yes, I
oh my
completely
God.
agree. I
Can
was
I just
laughing. Let me just clear this up. I was laughing because we all know about Risa Tisa. We all know what's like, like I think it's amazing what she's done and the opportunities that has opened up for her. But so that's why I laughed, first of all. But
Yeah.
also, yes. What do you think about all that she did? Like, like how I felt like she was very strategic in how she shared the content. I felt like she's such an amazing storyteller.
Mhm.
I kind of perused her profile and saw that she did have like videos before that went viral. So I feel like she knew how to use the platform.
Mhm.
But, her videos were long form and we were
Mhm.
all tuned in, 52
Yes.
videos.
Yes.
And we were waiting for the next episode. I was, girl, I
Yeah.
can't be talking for
Mhm.
everybody, but
Yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. I
but
I
I
think that
was.
I don't know this to be true about her. This is just my perception. I don't think she was as strategic as people think that she was. People thought that she was a plant. She was someone
No,
who
I don't think
worked
that. Yeah, no.
right, right, for
I
sure. And
think
I
she's
was just
just
like,
talented. Yeah.
yeah, I think she started out telling she was already doing like live streams regularly on
Exactly.
her TikTok or whatever. And I think that because she was doing what she was doing with her community for so long, I think she was being encouraged by her community
Yes.
to tell her stories. And once she posted the first few of them and she started watching what was happening because of them, I think
Yes.
she went into full gear of let's go, let's tell everything,
I
and let
agree.
me make sure I tell myself my stuff too, so that because I wasn't perfect in it either. So I think after time, she went, okay, got it. Because if she was as strategic as people say, she would have waited until she got into the creativity program to tell the story
Yes.
because she
You're
wasn't in
right.
it. She couldn't get it.
Yes.
She make no money from
Some of the
from it because she
videos.
wasn't in the program. So, but I think it's really brave that she shared, and I'm sure it's terrible, like the negative side of things.
Of
But
course.
her life has completely changed. She signed
Changed.
to the creative agency. She's working with Netflix. She's at South by Southwest. She will
Yes.
never have a job a day in her life once she walks away from her job. 3 million
Yes.
followers in 2 weeks. Her life is forever
It's
changed.
it's so amazing to look at, like, and you're right. When I say I feel like she was strategic, I'm not speaking about like her being a plant
Right.
or anything. I'm really speaking about just like the way that she would stop and start,
Yeah.
when in telling the stories, like she would leave us at a cliffhanger and she would pick us
Yep.
back up. She knew to recap at certain points. Like there were so many amazing naturally talented things that she did. I feel
Yeah.
like now the other thing I want to touch on as well, sometimes as creators, we're so excited about the new people or
Mhm.
getting new people that we don't focus on our community. And I
Mhm.
feel like you said, she was talking to her audience that was
Mhm.
already there. And because the platform realized they were watching it, it started pushing it
Mhm.
out.
Oh, yes.
Right? Like, what are your
Mhm.
thoughts about that? I think sometimes we're so excited or thinking about growth or so growth minded that we forget
Mhm.
to nurture the people that are already following us.
Mhm. And I think we're all guilty of that, me included, where
Yes.
you're like you're watching these numbers and you're like, "Okay, keep going for the numbers." And I think 2 parts. I think, yes, go for the numbers, but when we talk about if we're really trying to build and we're talking about from a business standpoint, if we're really trying to build a sustainable business, then we can't just have one and doners. We have to
Yeah.
actually take time to invest time in the people that are connected to us. Like we just hired a social media manager to help us with our DMs while we're in a launch. And she just wanted to comment little emojis or whatever. And I said, no, no, no. We
Mm-hmm.
literally talk back to every person. And she
Facts.
was just in shock. And I was like, because we're building a community, we're not just building a
Yes.
social media page. And I'm guilty of that because I was like, I'm going viral. I don't have time to comment, comment, comment. And I was like, I'm not connecting anybody. I don't know anybody's name. They only know me. I am lonely being online by myself. And I'm like,
Literally.
I've got to connect
Yes.
intentionally with the ones that are already following. And once I started doing that, one, I didn't feel as alone anymore. They are talking to me, we're talking back. And just recently, I posted to do a meetup in Houston, and I thought maybe 10 people would respond, and 50 people responded. And I'm like,
Yes.
this is because we've been talking. And some of them, I knew a lot about them by the time they got to the restaurant because of our communication, and it made
Yes.
me feel good, and I'm sure it made them feel good.
I love that. Community is key. And I think a lot of creators let that fall by the wayside. And so
Mhm.
when they do have a meetup, girl, ain't nobody there. But it's because you were
Remember that
all
one
me,
girl?
me focused instead of we focused.
Yeah. Yeah, there was a
Right.
creator at VidCon, I can't remember what her name was,
Yes,
and
the line
nobody showed
was
up.
yes. Even Tyla for the water challenge,
Oh,
she recently sent out a full on statement saying that she's not well and she can't do the tour, her
oh,
tour. And I
yes.
hope that she is well and she gets better. But I also heard rumblings or rumors of like her not being able to fill out a full tour just yet, right? Because of and I've seen that with so many artists where
Yeah,
people only know like the 30
song.
seconds of their song. Like Steve Lacy had a concert and he performed the one song that went viral on TikTok, but nobody knew the rest of his catalog, and he's such a dope artist.
Oh my god.
So I think companies are figuring out like how are
Yeah,
we even, how are we dealing with that? Like, how are we filling this gap,
yeah.
or what can we get people to do more of? Or, yeah. So,
Wow, it's kinda like the Taylor Swift effect. Hers is totally different, and her people that has worked with her over the years have been brilliant. They had her touching people from the ground all the way to
literally.
now, and she's touched and touched and touched, and you're like,
And people
"That."
have grown up with her,
Correct.
right? It's kind of like the
Mhm.
Barbs. Like, the
Yeah.
Barbs are crazy, but
Yeah.
Nikki, she really nurtured that community and would
Mhm.
spend time with them and even more so now I see her doing more long form content.
Really?
Yeah, like she really like, even though she's touring now, she's on station head daily talking to them and keeping them up to date
Wow.
with different things. So it's like seeing things evolve, but also seeing people find creative ways to tap in on a deeper level with their audience.
Wow.
Still, it's so like, I
And
like that
imagine
kind of
like
stuff.
like
So
Beyonce, Beyonce is always untouchable, you can't touch her, but
yeah,
she started having the renaissance. I think her team caught wind of it more than she did, but she started having her renaissance tour, and I think her team caught wind of TikTok, of being like the mute challenge, do the mute, like everybody on mute,
yes,
and they kept doing this
exactly. They
thing on TikTok.
amplified it.
Yes, and then they ended up making it a part of the
Her
conference. It was
show,
her show and then the
yes.
close and
But
yeah.
that's reciprocity
Yeah.
versus just I'm
I'm
Beyonce.
Beyonce. Yes, I agree.
And we realize how much it's needed. And I think we're
Mhm,
moving into a new season of we
mhm.
do want you to come off the throne and address our,
Yes,
address us common folk. We want
exactly, exactly. Yes, yes.
and I
Mhm,
think even for influencers, that's no longer working. It's more
mhm,
of it's about this community,
mhm,
versus just look at me, do my thing.
mhm.
But
Look at me.
I could talk to you all day.
Yes, yes, yes.
You know how we get. But
Yeah.
just so that I can respect your time, I want to kind of just close out by asking you if you remember your first video.
Oh, man. One of my first, it's probably 2, but one of my first videos, I was going live on Periscope, and I was just talking about probably network marketing or something, and I didn't have good lighting. I kept dropping my phone. I couldn't figure out how to turn the camera, and then while I was filming, I had just gotten this brand new kitten, and the kitten got itself caught up in my cords and like at the TV. And so I'm like, the kitten's screaming, and I'm like, I've got to do something. And so I'm like, y'all, hang on one second. Let me get this kitten. And so I like take the phone and I place it down so they can see the kitten. And the kitten is biting me. I mean, she is just biting me, trying to get out. But my audience, they enjoyed it because it was like I had started to become whatever in that first video, and they got to see a glimpse of, oh, this is real life. This is
A
her
real
cat. This is her
person.
cat face. Yeah. But it was a terrible video. Like, I'm glad I don't have it anymore.
Okay, what about the second one? Because you said 2 videos.
Yeah, I think my second one, I had just watched Amy Porterfield do a
Hmm.
webinar, like one of her evergreen webinars. And I was sitting there at the computer and I was like, I want to do a video talking about personal branding.
Mhm.
And I mean, it was smudgy because I didn't clean up the camera lens. And I wasn't confident. I was just talking.
Yeah.
It wasn't edited. And I was just talking about what I was talking about. I was more professional than I normally am.
Yeah.
And it didn't connect with people. It didn't connect, but I was
Yeah.
proud that I did it. I didn't know how to edit, how to like edit the front and the back. I didn't know how to do any of that. And but I posted it because I saw Amy's and was just like, if she can do it, so can I. And that was it. 2016, I think.
I love that. You know who that reminds me of? What story? That reminds me of Oprah
Mm,
saying that when she first got on air, the person that she loved was Barbara Walters.
mm,
And she shared that when she did her first interview, she got on and she was interviewing someone and she saw Canada on the teleprompter, but she was so busy being professional and being Barbara, she said Canada, right? And it just shows like how much we can take inspiration from someone, but it doesn't mean that we need to
be
change
them.
our mannerisms or,
Yep.
try to be someone else specifically. So I
Mhm.
love, love,
Exactly.
love that you shared that. I feel like it's a little nugget that people are going to latch onto
Mhm.
because it happens to the best of us, right? We're not always confident and we're looking for inspiration from someone else, which is fine,
Right.
but just also remembering to be yourself and bring yourself to the show as well.
Exactly. Because people want us. They want us and all our flair and all
Literally.
of our things. Like, and I realized like one of the things that people always say is, "Oh my God, I love your laugh. Oh my God, my
Yeah.
laugh is so loud and so unique."
I love
And
it.
now, right? But now I just go, "Can you just laugh?" Because clearly somebody likes it. And it's like when I was recording my audiobook, I wasn't gonna laugh in the audiobook. And I said, "Kenya, you
Right.
better laugh in this
You
audiobook."
better.
And I get so many people that say, "Oh my God, you laughed in the book. I loved it." And I'm like,
There you
you
go.
know, so
So
yeah.
just amplify you and your you-ness, right?
Mhm.
I love
Exactly.
that. My last question is I want you to dream with me a little bit. Um, in the next, let's say, 5 years, what would being brave on video look like for you?
Ooh, what would I can see it now.
Mm.
I just visualized me in like a basement type thing. I have a house and I have like a
Mhm.
basement type studio. And
Mm.
I see me in this like director's type chair. Like, you have those director's type chairs or
Mm.
whatever. Like,
Mhm.
but what I could see was that it was like a set that I had set
Mm.
up, and I was sitting there cross-legged. I couldn't see who was next to me, but I knew I was interviewing somebody. I knew somebody was in
Mm.
my space, and I was interviewing them. So there was obviously a team in front of us with a
Yes.
camera, and we were doing our thing. I can't see anything else, but I can see the chair and me, and I'm looking at somebody.
Big things.
Yeah. Why
I
not,
love
right?
it. Why not? I love it. I love it. I love it. Kenya, thank you so much. Oh, wait, wait, wait. I know you have a guide that you want to share with the audience.
Yeah.
Do you know the name of it?
Yes, it's called the 75 hooks for short form video.
There you go. And because we need that, girl. Hello.
Yeah.
And also, where can we find you on the internet?
Yes, so I'm pretty much everywhere. I'm KenyaKelly.com, Kenya Kelly on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, pretty much everywhere except for OnlyFans.
Ooh, hello.
Except
She
for
said, nope, no, ma'am.
if you see an account, it ain't mine.
Kia, thank you so much for hanging out with me. I appreciate you so much. I'd love to have you back. This was like a catch up. I think it's good that we didn't talk for so long because we got to really catch up.
I
We were
agree.
just saying before the episode that we haven't caught up in a while, which is probably
Mhm.
like 3 weeks in our world or 4 weeks, somewhere there. So it's not even that long, to
Not
be
even that
honest.
long.
But
Right.
thank you so much for being here with me. I appreciate you from the bottom of my heart, and I'm cheering you on. I love watching you work and kill it.
Thank
So,
you.
thank you.